Hi everyone, welcome to Unit 4, Lesson 5, Use Scientific Notation. All the examples in this lesson are going to be like ways that scientific notation can be used in real life and in helping us like simplify problems. Okay, so I'm just going to go straight into the examples and hopefully it will be helpful for you. So number 1, it says convert 3.875 times 10 to the ninth meters to kilometers. Okay? And then they gave you a note saying 1 kilometer equals 1,000 meters. Okay? So in every kilometer there are 1,000 meters. It's like breaking it up into 1,000 little pieces. So in this case, we are going from a smaller unit. We're starting with meters. We're going to kilometers. So it should make sense that we're going from like a higher number of something to a lower number of something because there are a whole bunch of meters inside of just like 1 kilometer, right? So in this case, what we want to do if we're going from a smaller unit to a bigger unit or smaller to larger, okay, we're basically going to be taking off, and this is one nice thing about like the metric system, is that in order to go from meters to kilometers, we're taking away all the zeros. And it's like, well, how many zeros are there? There's 3, right? There's 3 zeros in 1,000 in 1 kilometer. So what I could do is just take my exponent and take away those 3 zeros, giving me 3.875 times 10 to the 6th, and that is converted into kilometers. Okay, so another thing that we could do, I could take this, I could say, okay, well, I've got 3.875, but I need to move it. If I want to write this in like standard form, I could move my decimal 9 spaces. So there's 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And I'd fill all of these in with zeros, right? Well, I'm in meters. In order to convert them to kilometers, I'm going to divide by 1,000. Divide by 1,000. Well, to do that, and I'm sure you've seen this trick before, if there's a 0 at the end of both, you can just cross them out. Cross them out. Well, look at that. I took away 3 zeros, right? That's what I did right here. I took away 3 zeros. And if I were to rewrite this number in scientific notation, I'd come back over, I'd go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 spaces over, giving me 3.875 times 10 to the 6th. Okay, but rather than having to write all of this out, if we can understand that if we're going from a smaller value to a bigger value, we're going to subtract the zeros. Okay? So let's try one going the opposite way. Convert 4.083 times 10 to the 6th kilometers to meters. So last time we went from smaller to larger. Now we're going larger to smaller, right? Kilometers are larger than meters. So if I'm breaking up those kilometers into 1,000 pieces each, right, I'm going to have more meters than I did kilometers. Okay? So by doing that, this time we're going to add the zeros instead of subtract them. So we could take 4.083 times 10 to the 6th, but there are 3 zeros in 1,000, right? So I'm going to add 3 more zeros to it, giving me a final answer of 4.083 times 10 to the 9th. Okay? So, exact same process as up here. We just got to pay attention, which way are we going? This one is taken from your quick check. I forget what number it is off the top of my head, but let's go ahead and get started. But just know that this one's for points. Number 3, Kendra finds the dimensions of a sticky note. Oh, I think it's the last one. I'm pretty sure it's the last one. Maybe it's the first. Okay. She uses a meter stick to determine that the dimensions are 1.25 times 10 to the negative 8 meters wide by 2.5 times 10 to the negative 6 meters long. Write the dimensions in millimeters. Okay, so we've got two dimensions. We've got 1.25 times 10 to the negative 8. Who on earth would measure a sticky note like this? You gotta wonder, right? Okay, anyway, I'm off track. We've got two dimensions. Now, and we're going from a larger unit, right? Meters are larger than millimeters. Millimeters are like you took 1 meter, which is almost like the distance from like the floor to your door handle. That's like about a meter. If you were to break that up into 1,000 pieces, each one of those little guys would be a millimeter. Okay? So we're going from larger to smaller, which means we're going to add the zeros, right? Meaning these zeros. There's 1,000. Okay, we're going to add the zeros to our exponents. So I'm going to add the 3 zeros to each of those. Well, 1.25 times 10, and then we have negative 8 plus 3, which gives me 1.25 times 10 to the negative 5, and I know my units, those are millimeters. And then same thing here, 2.5 times, and then 10, and then negative 6 plus 3 equals negative 3, and again, those are millimeters. So those would be your two new values. All right, so we're using scientific notation within measurement conversion. That's what we're doing. Okay, so just to clarify, when going from a larger unit to a smaller unit, you need to add the zeros from the measurement conversion. Right? And so today that was the example of like 1 meter equals 1,000 millimeters. Right? That would be those. Well, the opposite is true as well. When going from a smaller unit to a larger unit, you need to, can you tell my hand is getting tired? I'm all sloppy. You need to subtract the zeros from the measurement conversion. Okay? So I hope that helps. If you need extra support on this, I know this is kind of a tricky concept, please reach out, okay? Have an awesome day.